Heidi. Hi everyone, welcome to Colette's Thermi Kitchen. My name is Colette Retriever. I'm a Thermomix consultant here in Australia. I have customers in all states, so if you're looking for a TM6, please reach out. I'd love to support you on your exciting journey ahead. Now tonight we're making my salted caramel dumplings, one of those retro 1980 dishes which are just beautiful. And I hope you love this. The recipe will go up on my blog tomorrow, so you'll be able to indulge in this treat over the weekend. So let's get going, and we're going to start off by making the dumplings. So into the Thermomix, what I'm going to do is I'm going to place 160 grams of self-raising flour. 160 grams of self-raising flour. Now remember, if you've only got plain flour, that's absolutely fine. For every 100 grams of plain flour, you need 1 teaspoon of baking powder to kind of create self-raising flour. All right, now we need a nice pinch of salt to go in there and 20 grams of butter.
So a nice pinch of salt, not a horrible pinch of salt, a nice pinch of salt.
Nice pinch of salt. Okay, with the measuring cup on, what we're going to do is we are going to actually mix that all together, and we're just going to go for 6 seconds. So, oops, went to 6 at speed number 6. So what we want is basically for that butter to totally disappear and to mix totally into the flour. So you can see that's happened beautifully. So the salt and the butter are dispersed beautifully in there. And now we're going to add our wet ingredients. Now to this mix, I'm adding an egg. Now, please stick to these ingredients. Don't go over. A couple of grams extra liquid is going to impact on the actual mix. So go slightly under if needed. If you do add a little bit more liquid, you're going to add just a little bit more flour to compensate. So 1 large egg going in there. All right. And we also have 60 grams of milk. So just full cream milk, 60 grams going in. And finally, we have got some golden syrup. And I've got 40 grams of golden syrup. Now this here was originally a golden syrup bottle which I kept, and what I've got in here now is my Thermomix made golden syrup. Super easy to make golden syrup in here. You've no need to go out and buy it from the shops, but do keep a squeezy bottle because it's a hard thing to pour, and I just wash this out well and I use this because it gives me that control I want. So what I am looking for, bringing up the scales, I am looking for no more than 40 grams.
And this is the best golden syrup. If you like syrup on your pancakes, this is so tasty.
So I'm going to slow down now because we don't want it to go over. I'd rather go slightly under than over. Right. So that's the beautiful golden syrup. So coming out now, all we need to do is to mix those together. And we're going to simply go for 7 seconds at speed number 3. So I'm sure everyone has a thermomat from the mix shop. If you haven't got one of these, it's always the very first thing I recommend my customers get for so many reasons. So here is my mix, and I'm just going to grab a little bit of extra flour. This is what you're looking for, so don't panic. It is a messy kind of mix. So what I'm going to do is to literally pull this out. And I'm just going to get that little bit of extra flour because it's just a little tad bit wet. And what varies is that egg. That egg does vary. Now I've made this a whole number of times, and these are going to be beautiful. So what I want to do now is to simply...
Uh-oh, she's gone.
grab some flour, and all I need to do is to get a teaspoon, dip the teaspoon in, and I'm just taking off basically little, with a bit of flour on my hand, little teaspoonfuls. That's all I want. You can make bigger donuts if you want to, but I wouldn't recommend it. So just small ones, okay? That's what you want in your mix. So it is a wet mix, but I don't want you to panic. All right, so keep your hand nice and floured, and that's your donut mix. Right, so what we are going to do with that mix is we are going to get our Varoma, and we're going to get the Varoma tray, and maybe the base as well, because there's quite a few of these. This is enough for a generous serving for 4 people. And we're going to either spray liberally some oil on the Varoma tray and the base, and then we're going to place these donuts in that particular tray. Now, one of the things I want you to consider is that these will actually puff up and expand just as good.
What do you do with them?
Donuts. Huh? I know, don't worry. I'm going, this was just a show and tell. Bear with me, everyone. All right. So.
Hi, Izzy from Harvey Bay.
Okay. So, what I've actually got here.
In true Blue Pizza fashion, these are some I made earlier.
Some I made earlier. So these have gone into the Varoma. This is half of the quantity because Andrew and I can only eat so many donuts. And you can see now those little tiny donuts. This is, sorry, they're not donuts, they're dumplings. This is what they actually end up looking like. They're not quite finished yet. They're going to go for a little bit longer, but they're just beautiful and puffy. These have been sitting there for about 3 minutes. So you're going to have some in there. You can also pop some in the bottom, and if you wanted, you could also pop some in your simmering basket. And if you were that desperate to make more, pop your blade cover in, and you can cup some in the actual.
So they've been on the Varoma setting for 3 minutes.
So no, these were on the Varoma. So once you've got them into the Varoma, you then put them into position, 500 mils of water, and you go for 10 minutes, Varoma setting, speed 2. All right,
okay.
And this is where we're at. So the next thing we're going to do, we're going to park those to one side, and we are going to make our caramel sauce. So, thank you, Bernie. So for the caramel sauce, what I've actually got, I tried a whole load, and I'll show you some more in a minute. So butter, 50 grams of butter going in, just cold butter from the fridge.
I haven't seen your butter bell for a while.
I know, I need to get that. Is this perfect weather for using that butter bell? 90 grams of beautiful cream.
How does it go?
You can tell me. Yeah.
I can't remember. Butter tastes butter from a butter bell. Butter bell. Okay.
I should get it out. And then I've got 30 grams each of caster sugar and dark brown sugar. You could use all of brown sugar or caster sugar, but the problem is, you know, with this sauce, it's a very sweet sauce, and I found using all brown sugar, it became even sweeter. So that was 25 grams.
So white and brown sugar. So this is multicultural dish.
Yes. And I've got some maple syrup here, so 25 grams of that. So just to repeat on those quantities, 50 grams of butter, 90 grams of cream, 25 grams each of maple syrup, dark brown sugar and caster sugar.
But this will all be in your blog.
Yeah, all in there.
Which means another late night for you?
Yes, probably. It takes ages writing all this up. You guys appreciate it. Touch of salt going in there, about half a teaspoon of salt. And then what I'm going to do is to put this on top, set this on, and then I'm going to pop these back up here, although these are probably just about done. I might take them off a bit earlier. But if you're doing this at home, you would just, the two of them combine and finish off together. So now I'm going to go for 7 minutes. Oh, 7 minutes at Varoma temperature. And I'm going to go on speed 2.
So the sauce you're making, will any of that infuse into the dumplings?
No, it won't. I tried all sorts of ways. I tried using it with the blade cover to try and get the sauce to go into the dumplings, and it just all got very messy. I tried cooking the dumplings in the oven, but I really wanted to do the whole lot in the Thermomix. And after, I think, 6 or 7 attempts, this is the one that I'm happy with. It works out beautifully. So they're just going to be cooking away for a little while. Oh,
She forgot.
to add just a tad of vanilla into that.
So how long will this keep in the fridge, you think?
A couple of days, quite happily. I did warm up some dumplings a few days later, and the sauce will probably be about a week.
Oh, is that what's been sitting in the fridge, that container?
Yeah.
Dumpling, I wonder what they were.
So just to show you the difference in sauces, so this is one that I made just with totally brown sugar, and it's a lovely kind of consistency. So this is cold now, but the problem is it's very sweet. It's still lovely.
That's gorgeous.
And this one here is the one that I've kind of now decided on.
Oh, wow, it's beautiful.
And this one is about 2 days old, a little bit creamier, and you've got different sugar flavourings in it.
They're not as sweet.
It's not as sweet, so I think this one is the nicer one.
Those on pancakes would be superb.
On ice cream.
Ice cream,
So
pancakes.
look, you can keep these in the fridge, and they're quite happy. This one's been in for a few days.
Now I know they're in the fridge.
Yeah.
2 days now.
And they're easy to warm up to pour on top of your dumplings or whatever you else, but they're still quite pourable after
There's a
few
bit of
days.
texture to them as well, aren't they?
Yeah.
There's just not sort of
Yeah.
runny sauce.
So, how many minutes have we got going?
5.
5 minutes, all right. So,
Oh, she's gone again.
I'm back again. All right. So what we can do, I just want to show you over here. I have a wonderful, beautiful customer called Vicky, who is a banana farmer, and she also has a wonderful farm. And she sent her son up here to deliver a whole load of bananas, and they're absolutely beautiful pumpkins. So I'm absolutely stoked. Maybe what you can do is write in the chat what you think I could make with those bananas and that gorgeous pumpkin. Thank you, Vicky. That was very generous of you. Very excited to have those.
Banana fritters.
Hey, banana fritters with caramel sauce.
Caramels. Oh, here we go. Tomorrow, please.
So many options. Okay. So what I thought I would do while that's going on is I've got some notes. So one of the classes that... Ooh, it's smelling good, isn't it?
But your moussaka?
It's my moussaka.
We've got moussaka for dinner tonight.
Yum. Have a little look at it, Andrew. Can you see it? Not looking good, everybody. Love moussaka.
So Colette's been cooking specially today, and she's even laid out. I'll show you. She's laid out the table for the two of us. So I've been working this week. I've worked for years, but the Australian Electoral Commission have dragged me out of retirement, and I'm setting up the counting warehouse for the Arundel. For the Fadden by-election, and the warehouse is based at Arundel. So I've been working all week, and Colette has made a special dinner and nicely laid the table out. That's so nice to come home to that.
Yeah. So I love moussaka. I've got an amazing recipe, and I always love to put a layer of potatoes down first.
Especially for me.
Lots of cheesy
Lots
goodness,
of cheese.
And of course the aubergines or eggplants as you call
Oh,
them.
well, I'm not too sure
and
about
then
those.
the most amazing Greek salad. Yum. Anyhow, that's for later. So we've got 3 minutes. I thought I would just tell you about a couple of the modes just to fill in some time. So one of the classes that I run for my customers, there's 4 core classes that we come together and really deep dive into areas of the Thermomix. And one of those classes is based around modes. And the ones that often people are struggling with or don't use very much, for example, kettle. So just remember the kettle mode is designed for water. I know there's all sorts of things people are warming up or bringing to the boil or whatever with the kettle mode. It's designed for water, and you can of course put in there some tea or some spices to infuse into that water, but it shouldn't be used for milk. The one you would actually use for milk is the warm-up mode. And the warm-up mode, basically, what you need to do is you need to think of that in terms of time. Not in terms of time, in terms of temperature. So the classic thing with that warm-up mode is if you've got leftovers, what you can do, instead of zapping them in the microwave and drying them out and having a cold centre, is to pop them into your Thermomix. Now, if you've made a beautiful pumpkin soup where there's no bits in there, you don't need to add in the butterfly. But if I'm warming up a butter chicken or something like that, I would pop the butterfly in. And then with the warm-up mode, you've basically just got temperatures that you need to choose. So when I'm reheating food, remember health and safety tell us we need to reheat above that 70 degrees. So I tend to go for about 80 degrees. I don't need it boiling. So what happens is the Thermomix slowly and gently reheats that butter chicken or that pumpkin soup, and when it gets to that temperature, it stops. So we're not talking about time, we're talking about temperature. So usually it takes 12-15 minutes, but I have to tell you, and as Andrew would say, the warm-up, the food that's warmed up in that way is just so much nicer. I can't tell you. Just try it once, and the chances are you'll do it again.
Our eldest son Patrick has obviously got a Thermomix. He likes Japanese teas or green teas, and so he'll heat the water up to the optimum temperature. So if he wants 80 degrees for his Japanese tea, that's what he'll do. And it's apparently it's the way to drink certain types of tea. So I'm with you, Izzy. Pumpkin soup with fresh bread and garlic.
Sounds lovely.
Or pumpkin scones on pumpkin bread.
The other one I just want to quickly mention, so with the warm-up mode, when you have visitors come around and they all decide they want a cup of coffee, you don't want to be spending ages at the coffee machine warming up the milk. What I do is I will put the milk into the Thermomix and I will warm it up to 70 degrees, which is kind of barista. It varies, 70 to 80, but 70 degrees. So remember, we're talking temperature. And what happens is it calls me back when that milk is ready to pour on the coffee. But I take it one step further. I then head into the turbo mode and give it a couple of blasts on the turbo mode, and I end up with frothy, beautiful milk to pour on that coffee. So I spend about a quarter of the time getting that sorted out.
Oh, Izzy gets better. Banana pancakes with caramel sauce.
Andrew, you're hungry, are you?
Yeah, well, I am actually, yeah.
So there's so many great things with that. And also with the warm-up mode, baby's milk, 37 degrees. Perfect feature for actually doing that. So each of the modes, there's so much more to them. But that's all we have time for today.
But if you didn't have a thermi, how else could you get exact temperatures like that?
Well, I don't know, actually. It's really great. It's super cool. All right, so dumplings are ready. So there's our lovely dumplings. And I'm just going to... Okay, thank you, Andrew.
That's mine.
You can hold your spoon ready. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to put two, but I'm just going to open up one of these little ones. So I worked hard on this recipe. I had some real bricks, but this one here, can you just see how light and fluffy that is?
Mm-hmm.
And you just have a little taste, just all by itself.
Okay.
Just by itself, it's pretty
light and fluffy.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and now in here we've got some beautiful caramel sauce.
Well, it tastes fresh. That's what it does.
All made up. Now remember, the caramel sauce is nice and.
I need to soak those.
Yeah, it will do. It's just going to be absolutely delicious.
A little bit of cream in there as well, couldn't you?
Absolutely. It wouldn't be the same without some cream. So your caramel sauce. And, of course, we need a little drizzle.
Oh, you got cream there. Okay.
Gotta have some
Didn't see that.
cream. And you need, Andrew won't like this, but just a tiny sprinkling of sea salt flakes. It's salted
Why do you do
caramel.
that?
I'll get you a piece that hasn't got too much on. There you go, have a taste. They are really good, everybody. I hope you get a chance to make them because...
Yes. Yeah, that is so good.
Oh my God.
You have to hide that before you serve the moussaka because that ain't going to stay around for much longer. Oh, you want one more piece, please?
So that's my lovely light fluffy dumpling.
Oh, that is just...
With,
Look, I know I'm biased and I should be saying nice things about this stuff, but I tell you...
No, Andrew would believe me, Andrew would tell you if something wasn't nice, definitely. Now these will quite happily go in the fridge, and I can heat them up again tomorrow, just in whichever way you want to heat them up, and you can continue to enjoy them. Andrew, you're going to be filled up before dinner time. You have.
They are so Moorish because of the flavour on those. Oh.
So I do love that little bit of sea salt on top, and it's quite lovely when you suddenly discover a little flake of sea salt and bite into it. It just livens everything up. So there you go, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that recipe. I would love, so all of this takes me a lot of time and obviously a lot of wasted money because I often don't eat a lot of the stuff. But I would absolutely love for you to share this post. And it's just one way that you can kind of say thank you, Colette, to me for the amount of time that I put into all of this stuff. So
and
I really
Andrew.
appreciate you sharing. Well, Andrew, you just do the filming, I do everything else. But I'm very appreciative that you just do that.
Thank you.
I'm the one at the computer late at night.
Yeah, you are.
And testing. But anyhow, so that's me done for tonight. I'm going to get our dinner ready now, which will be delicious. You have a beautiful evening. Tomorrow we have my spring roll cook-along. There's well over 250 people booked in. So don't forget about that.
What sort of spring rolls are you doing?
Oh, it's my really top-end one. So we've got pork, some prawns, we've got carrots, we've got mushrooms, all sorts. They are nothing like the ones you buy in the shops.
Is that our dinner tomorrow night?
No, we can nibble on them, and then I'll freeze half of them. Always great to have spring rolls in the freezer. So you'll get the recipe. So you can book in on that if you go to my link tree, and there's also details on my page. And I'll be getting that checklist out sometime soon as well. All right, everyone. See you tomorrow, and have a beautiful evening. The weekend is here. Yay! Enjoy. Anything else, Andrew?
No.
Okay. Say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye, everybody. Thank you so much.
You've got to try these. I tell you, this is just. This is the dog's bollocks. It really is. It's good.
Oh dear.